Hi everyone, Comic Book Reviewer here. This time reviewing on the 2012 film Back to the Sea. Now, Back to the Sea is meant to be an English language Chinese 3D traditional animated family comedy film, which is kind of a bit like Finding Nemo, but different. I think much like Shark Tales, it's not trying to be something like Finding Nemo. I think it's a story to show that not everyone is good or evil, and that you shouldn't really paint the same fence twice. Now, the premise of the film is meant to feature a blue and orange flying fish known as Kevin, who ends up being taken from his home from the sea and ends up in an aquarium in a Chinese restaurant. And we kind of see how the fish in the tank are a bit more brainwashed, a bit more believing what they're told by a sort of octopus-like creature known as Mr. Bunker. Now, it's kind of clear Mr. Bunker kind of makes them believe that they'll be transformed to humans, and does this out of not wanting to worry people. And I wouldn't really paint the character as a bad guy. Like, they do show he wants to believe he's doing the right things, and does kind of admit it near the end. And I think the film isn't really afraid to be too adult, because when you do hear the fishes that were chosen, you know what's going to happen to them. And yeah, you can kind of tell Kevin is a bit more realistic and doesn't see things as a child does. I think when you've got Ben, a green Surgeon fish, and also as well Sammy, a little canary rockfish, they start to kind of realise the truth. And we do see how a young boy known as Shobo, who's kind of pressured into taking on the family business by his father, does befriend Kevin and have his own interests. And I think Shobo's kind of a relatable character. Like, he has his own goals and ambitions. He doesn't want to be something else. But you can kind of tell his father does want what's best for him, but wants to keep the family tradition alive. And of course, we do see how a kind of shady man known as Jack is after Kevin's pearl, and it's kind of implied that Jack kind of works for the mafia and owes his boss money. And it's kind of implied the money was either for drugs or something else. So of course, for the course of the film, we do see how Shobo and Kevin do befriend each other, and both of them coming into each other's worlds. I think the premise of the film Back to the Sea is more about accepting someone's world, as well as realizing not everyone is good or evil, as there are good people deep down, and not everyone is bad for the sake of it. And I think, for the most part, I would say it's different from Finding Nemo. I would say Finding Nemo is more of a slice of life film. Shark Tale is more of a cartoonish kind of film. I think Back to the Sea is just a Chinese kind of tale playing a different role. And I think when you've got the start where Kevin talks about the whole kind of Barbados from the Flying Fish Kingdom, it kind of gives this Thundercats 2011 feel, where the character believes somewhere to be real, despite the father's protests, much like Lionel with his father. And I think they really do try to show you that, yeah, there's a difference between Kevin's father and Shobo's father. I think, well, Kevin's dad never really accepted Kevin's dreams, and we never really see him after the start. We do see how Shobo's dad does kind of realise, yeah, I've made a mistake, and I definitely want to fix this. I think, to me, Back to the Sea is a film that's not afraid about telling a tale, and it's not really a Finding Nemo clone. It's following its own path, its own continuity. So, to me, it deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.